Good day, everybody. Today I want to talk about the finale to Good Omens because I watched it recently and I have thoughts. I tried to record this video like a couple times and I didn't like how it ended up because I was just all over the place, so I will try to keep it very simple and to the point. And yeah, how about we start? So I didn't actually watch the finale to Good Omens the day it came out because I had things to do. Filming a short film, excuse me. So I got to see people's reactions to it. I tried to not spoil it to myself because, frankly, I got spoiled on the season 2 kiss, even though for the longest time I didn't even believe that was a real thing. I'm disappointed about that. Not really. So I was just generally trying to avoid too many spoilers. I just got the vibe of how the fandom was reacting to the finale. And how do I put this nicely? I fucking knew it. I knew the fandom was going to be disappointed, and I knew it was going to happen, completely divorced from the quality of the finale itself. And you might wonder why. So, for those who don't know, second season of Good Omens ends on essentially two cliffhangers. Crowley starts to admit feelings for Aziraphale. Aziraphale has already accepted a position in heaven because Gabriel has abandoned post, essentially. And in a fit of desperation, Crowley kisses Aziraphale with the hope of maybe, hopefully, changing his mind. It doesn't work. And we are informed of the second coming of Christ. And I don't want to blame the fandom fully because that's kind of victim blaming if you think about it. Because the second season did this on purpose to the fandom. As in, the creators of Good Omens, the second season, they fucking knew what they were doing with having it end like that. And because we know that the creators, the actors, are very well aware of the fandom. They know, okay? They knew what reaction the fan base was going to have to this. And it worked. The entire time of since that happened to when the first teaser for the finale was posted, people were really, really, really into what was going to happen next. Good marketing for that time period for people to watch it until then, but guess what happened? People started speculating, and through their speculation, they started to form expectations. And expectations are death for any sort of narrative story. Unless you're trying to subvert them on purpose and make them, more interesting. But that's beside the point. And since then, I knew that no matter what fucking happens, people are not going to be satisfied with the ending of Good Omens. I knew it was going to happen. Yes, Good Omens Season 2 set everybody up for failure in this part. But also, you need to learn to know better as a part of a fandom. If there is going to be a continuation to anything, do not speculate about it unless you're doing it in fully with the full notion that it is very possible that none of this will happen. Unless you go with the idea of this is just for fun. This would be cool if it happened, but I am fully free to it not happening. If you don't form expectations about your speculations, that's chill. But if you do, your disappointment is on you. You are building these castles in the sky that no real piece of media can achieve. Because, like, that's the whole thing. The perfect work of fiction only exists in your mind. And if that's what you expect from any piece of media, you're going to always be disappointed. And that is briefly about that. What did I actually think about the real finale of Good Omens? I am not disappointed. I am not particularly happy with it either, but I am not disappointed. The word I would use to encompass my feelings about it would be indifferent. I don't know how else to put it. It wasn't great. It was absolutely not great, but it wasn't that bad either. It's not the worst thing that's ever happened. It's kind of eh. It's just kind of eh. And what can I say about that? I feel like it was overstuffed with stuff. Like, there's just too much going on. There are too many characters doing their own thing. There is too much plot. And I just feel like the creators kind of forgot that they have 90 minutes. Good Omens, the first one and the second one, the first season and the second season, they worked so well. Their pacing was immaculate. Like, I genuinely don't know how they managed to make 12 hours of television that didn't feel like watching a story over 6 hours. The pacing was like a masterclass. It was so good. But they tried to fit in a whole season of television into 90 minutes, and it didn't work, really. It was too much. It was too much. Because, like, what I would have suggested they do is they make like an episode worth, like a longer episode of Good Omens. Only one, and have that be the full story. And they didn't do that, and so the plot is overstuffed, and a lot of things they understay their welcome. Like, I loved Muriel. We didn't get enough of them. I loved Jesus. We didn't get enough of Jesus. And there was just also a lot of pointless things, like a lot of pointless things and a lot of fan pandering. And those are the two things that I really, really hate, because you already have just the 90 minutes. And now you're stuffing it with things that aren't necessary. Like, was the scene with the mob boss, were all the scenes with the mob boss funny? Yes, they fucking were. Yes, they were. Were they necessary? Kind of for the characters, but for the plot, it does nothing. It does fuck all. Was the scene of Aziraphale turning the Bentley into an ice cream truck, an ice cream vehicle, that was okay. Was that necessary? No. In one minor point, that was, I fucking hate this so much. I can't expect everybody to be a fucking car nerd, but the vehicle that Aziraphale turned the Bentley into was not a fucking Bentley, it was a Citroen. And everybody freaking out about it being the Bentley originally pissed me off so bad, because, like, guys, the brand is right on the fucking hood. It's right there. It's not the fucking Bentley. And, like, they could have done something really interesting with that, because Citroens are French cars. We all know the, like, deep meaning of France and French specifically in the series. It's important. But they do fuck all with it. And the scene is completely pointless. It's so dumb. It's so stupid. And all for what? For a callback to the first season? For a callback to a scene that the fandom really likes? And they do it multiple times too. They do these stupid callbacks when they don't have the fucking time. to move this horribly big plot. Like, the fucking callback to Bebop? Kill me. Shoot me dead. Like, and talking about fan pandering, that scene after the great battle with the flame, and when Crowley and Aziraphale have that little part, shoot me dead once again, that felt painfully like fan fiction, and I hated it so much, and it also had no fucking worth to the plot. It just didn't. And like, what, for another callback to You Better Not? Like, you best not? Are you kidding? Is that really it? And yeah, okay. I have a lot of issues with the finale. And so I started thinking, what would I actually have wanted the finale to be? Because I refused to speculate about it up until the thing, because, again, speculation leads to expectations, leads to disappointment. So I was like, no, I'm not even going to think what I want from the finale. Completely out of the question. But now that I've seen it, I feel like I can talk about it, because like now I can actually, I know what it is, and I know now what I would have rather it have been. I would have taken out the entire plot. I actually, like, the plot itself, the story itself, completely fine. On its own, bare bones plot, completely fine. I would have fucking taken out all the bare essentials of getting to the point where Aziraphale and Crowley are alone in the bookshop at the very end, when the entirety of the reality has collapsed and only the bookshop remains and Aziraphale and Crowley are there. I would have done everything in my power to get to that part as quickly as possible, as efficiently as possible, and have had Crowley and Aziraphale take a moment, breathe a moment, and fucking talk to each other. Like people do. And just, like, now that nothing exists, they can talk about what actually matters to them, since there are no more sides left. There is no heaven or hell anymore. There is only the them. And I don't mean the them from the first season. I mean, there's only Crowley and Aziraphale. Only their side exists anymore. So what would they do with that? Like, talk about feelings and emotions and ideas that they've had that they haven't had the chance to talk about. Just do that. Even just for 10 fucking minutes. And then have them talk with God and Satan and have the fucking human ending. Do I like that? Did I like them being humans in the end? Not entirely, but I see how that was the only, like, logical conclusion to the arc that was there. And that's fine. I can live with it. But just have them fucking talk to each other. Like, it's just so disappointing in that sense, because this plot is moving along with so many moving parts, they don't have like an opportunity to breathe. And it's dumb, because I like quiet stories where characters get ample time to be themselves and to breathe and exist and not be hurried along. That's great. And that's what Good Omens really is. That's the joke in the fandom, that, like, when it comes to the first season specifically, but this also applies to the second season, fuck all happens until they have to rush the assignment at the very end. Nothing happens until the very last episode. That's the joke. That's it. And why couldn't this be the same? They're just rushing along because they don't have the time and they want to include all these little things, but all those little things weren't actually necessary. Things that I did like. Again, I like Jesus. I liked Muriel. I loved the scene of Aziraphale and Muriel in hell. That was great. Oh yes, I liked how in the end, because Crowley is canonically the only like demon in hell at least who has imagination, he is allowed to make the final choice. Because again, change comes from the ability to imagine something new. And that's why uh, God being like, hey, so like, you come up with something. That was great. That was great. I really liked that. I didn't mention this. I didn't mention this in the video, but I also really, really liked the scene when Crowley gets Aziraphale dim sum and Aziraphale's like trying to say, no, no, I'm supposed to be better than this, and then he fucking loves it. It's great. It's wonderful. That was great. I really, really appreciated that. And that scene itself was really funny, how everybody was just absolutely ignoring the mob boss's daughter. That was really funny. That scene was really, really funny. I really liked that one. That one was good. On with the video. I want to conclude with this idea I've had for a while, my attitude that I've had for a while, that I feel like I need to make a whole separate video about because I have a lot of thoughts and a lot of feelings about it. But it altogether it boils down to I don't trust sequels and I don't trust continuations and remakes at all, which may sound like a very basic stance, but let me explain. When the second season of Good Omens was announced, the entire fandom rejoiced. Not to say that I wasn't happy for the fandom, but I wasn't excited for it. I wasn't excited for the second season of Good Omens. And I'm not excited for sequels to properties that I really like, unlike seemingly a lot of people. And that's why I wasn't particularly fazed when it turned out not to be great. The finale specifically. And that is because that's the risk with sequels. Sequels can be great. Sequels can also be bad, which isn't a surprise, but it seems like people forget that. And now I hope we are waking up to the fact that most sequels are a risk to the original story. Like, for every Shrek 2, there's a Shrek 3, you know? for and more Shrek 3s than Shrek 2s. And sequels in general are a really, really hard sell to me because I am aware of the fact that just because it's a sequel to something I really, really liked doesn't mean that it's going to be good. And another point I feel like I need to make is that I don't understand people who are excited for sequels or who say that, oh, I've been waiting for a sequel, or say that, oh, we've been waiting for a sequel for this for 15 years, when it's like, okay, speak for yourself and also why. Because, like, I don't know, I'm specifically pulling from an example of two people. One of them was talking about Tintin, saying how, oh, we've been waiting for a sequel for 15 years. Have we? Because I wasn't. And why were others waiting? Because the first movie was great as it was. Why do you want more of it? And the other example was this guy talking about how Shrek 5 had changed the entire plot, and how the plot to the original was leaked, and he mentioned that, oh, I've been waiting for Shrek 5 with everybody else for so long, and I'm just sitting here like, but why? Literally, why? Did you not get enough Shrek already? Why do you want another one? Like, that's what I don't understand. Why people want more stuff for something that was already good, when you know that more stuff can possibly mean more bad stuff, you know? Does that make sense? That's what I'm trying to talk about in this section. And so I'm like never particularly excited to see another sequel. And Good Omens specifically, it was so strange a choice to have a sequel for, because the first one was so good on its own. And like, I remember leading up to watching the second season for the first time, I watched season 1 again. And also because I was watching it for visual communications class, because I was making a presentation about an adaptation. And I was watching it again and thinking, wow, didn't the first time watching it, I didn't realize how romantic this fucking season actually was. Because like, come on, Crowley exiting the burning bookshop with Somebody to Love playing. Aziraphale's heartfelt to the world melts my heart every fucking time. And so I have to ask, was the rest of it necessary? I would say no. And so that's what I conclude with. Tell satisfying full stories that don't require sequels, and like, don't overstuff your plots with unnecessary things. Be focused. I will probably make another video about this topic because I have a really good comparison possibility that I've been wanting to talk about as well. Finally, don't get hyped for media, because that hype is going to be used against you. Just like that video that H-Bomber guy made about Bethesda games and how don't pre-order anything. Don't support bad business practices. Don't get hyped up on stuff. It's not going to be worth it, because you're going to be disappointed in the end. Watch things for what they are, and know that just because a series is good doesn't mean that it will always be like that. The more there is, the more opportunity there is for it to get fucked up. And yeah, that's kind of it. That's all that I have to say about that. And thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.